We can view another short clip which will feature Justice Iftikhar Chaudhry's movement interview during the height of the movement. Let's start with some of the images from the movement, or the protests and demonstrations as I referred before.
If there is no struggle, there is no progress. Those who profess to favor freedom yet deprecate agitation are men who want the crops without plowing up the ground. They want rain without the thunder and lightning. They want the ocean without the awful roar of its many waters. This struggle may be a moral, or it may be a physical one, or it may be both moral and physical, but it must be a struggle. Power concedes nothing without a demand. It never did, and it never will. Find out just what the people will submit to, and you have found out the exact amount of injustice and wrong which will be imposed upon them. And these will continue till they are resisted, with either words, or with blows, or with both. The limits of tyrants are described by the endurance of those who they oppress. Men may not get all they pay for in this world, but they must pay for all they get. If we are to ever get free from the suppression and wrong heaped upon us, we must pay for their removal. We must do so by labor, by suffering, by sacrifice, and if need be, by our lives and the lives of others. That was Frederick Douglass in an address he gave on the emancipation of the East Indies. It also has to be my all-time favorite quote. I think one of the great mistakes of humankind is we often look upon hardship and struggle as if they're bad things. The trials that you and I have gone through have shaped us into the human beings we are today, and we would never trade those experiences for anything. Yet, quite often we look at others having a hard time, and our initial reaction is to relieve them of their pain and make their lives easy and thus uneventful. This is a fallacy, for charity can never be about taking away the struggle and hardship of life. Charity must be the act of allowing struggle and hardship to come to a rewarding end. I refer to certain people as people for the perfect world. They're people who want to live in a world without pain. But in a world without pain, in a world without sacrifice, there is no such thing as courage. A world without pain is a world without war.
The international community is to ask one thing from the military: to restore the judges of the Supreme Court.
Restore the judges of the Supreme Court. So this was the main demand to start with, and as one of our participants just mentioned, that Chief Justice of Pakistan, Iftikhar Chaudhry, was sacked. Well, not exactly. He was not allowed to perform his duties. He wasn't really sacked. In the month of March 2007, and that was something which was not really provided in the law. So practically and effectively he was barred from entering the courtrooms and adjudicate on the cases which he was dealing with. His case was sent under Article 209 of the Constitution of Pakistan for accountability before the Supreme Judicial Council, as it is envisaged in the Pakistani Constitution. Can you switch off lights? We have another very short clip so that participants sitting here can get a better idea of the situation then. And the thing that I'm trying to bring to you is that what exactly was the focus of the so-called movement that we are talking about. You will hear again and again the words rule of law, restoration of the judiciary. What exactly did it mean to an ordinary Pakistani in the Pakistani context? And that is something I'm concerned about. We need to understand the nature of the movement and what was the fallout and how it has fared in the following years since its success in 2007, 2008 and 2009 ultimately. When the Chief Justice Iftikhar Chaudhry was restored to the Supreme Court of Pakistan with all the powers. So let's go back to another clip and see what did Iftikhar Chaudhry have to say to CNN while he was under house arrest in Islamabad, and he was interviewed by CNN.
One of of the key players in the saga in Pakistan, Chief Justice Iftikhar Chowdhury. He was dismissed by General Pervez Musharraf. Mr. Chowdhury, Justice Chowdhury, joins us now from Pakistan on the telephone line. Iftikhar Chowdhury, many thanks for being with us. What is your situation now? Are you still under house arrest?
Thank you very much. Yes, I'm still under house arrest with my family. And there are also about 8 judges who are also residing in the same colony enclave. They are also under house arrest. And about 50-60 judges of the superior courts in the different parts of Pakistan, they are also under the house arrest, who have declined to take under this new dispensation of the President Pervez Musharraf, which he has promulgated by violating the Constitution and had issued an order of the President Pervez Musharraf, which he has promulgated by violating the Constitution and had issued an order being a Chief of the Army Staff, not as the President of Pakistan.
So, Iftikhar Chowdhury, you have called on your supporters to be defiant, to demonstrate. You have said that Pervez Musharraf has ripped your country's constitution. You have said that Pervez Musharraf has ripped your country's constitution to shreds. Are you calling on individuals to go down in the streets now and continue to defy the military and the police?
Yes, I have asked to all the lawyers, I have asked all the judges, and all the members of the society, all the population, that they should support supremacy of Constitution and rule of law in Pakistan, and for its enforcement, they should go to every nook and corner in the streets. Its enforcement, they should go to every nook and corner in the streets wherever they like for the enforcement of the same.
And what do you think should happen with regards to political demonstrations? Former Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto, for instance, we understand she is not allowed to demonstrate as she had planned on Friday.
I don't know what is that. I don't know about the position of, because she is a politician. But as far as the lawyers are concerned, lawyers always go for the peaceful protest in the courtrooms, in the bar rooms, and in the outside the courtroom. I think for the lawyers, there should not be any problem.
Do you think that you are going to be able, through demonstrations, through lawyer demonstrations, all these white-collar workers who are out in the street saying, we do not accept the state of emergency, will they be able to make a difference, do you think?
Yes, of course, and the lawyers who are educated and the judges who have refused to take oath, and they will go for demonstration amongst the lawyers, it would be very effective.
What have you been hearing in terms of the number of lawyers who've been detained right now? Latest reports have put them at 3,000. Is that the figure you've been given as well?
Yes, of course, this figure is right, and in whole Pakistan, about more than 3,000 have been put behind the bars without any justification. Rather, they were tortured, they were brutally beaten by the law enforcement agencies, but because the cause is a noble, and they have to go for the same, notwithstanding that whatever torture they are doing.
And may I ask you, Mr. Chowdhury, what are your plans right now? If you're under house arrest, do you have any choice? Can you leave your home at all?
No, I'm not allowed to go outside my house. I have no choice, but only I can talk to the lawyers on the telephone. That too is available. Because my own telephones are also under suspect. My landlines are also cut off. Only 1 or 2 telephones as I'm talking with you is available with me.
And is it the case that mobile networks as well in Pakistan, some of them have been disabled because you were calling some of your supporters on a mobile phone? Is it the case that some of these networks were disabled?
Yes, today I have talked to say one bar association on telephone, but they have placed the jammers on all the telephone, and the other telephones are also cut off. But this is the only telephone which is now available. This is on which I am talking to you.
Now, CNN is seen in Pakistan. The president of Pakistan, General Pervez Musharraf, may be watching this as you speak to us. What message do you have for President Musharraf?
I can only say that he should believe in the supremacy of Constitution. He can believe in the rule of law. He can believe in the independence of the judiciary, and he should restore the judiciary which was working independently in this country for the strengthening of the institution, democracy, and was curbing to the terrorism before the 3rd November 2007.
Okay, please switch on the line. So,
I've seen this thing that one gentleman was making a comparison between what has happened here and what has happened during emergency in India. During emergency in India, nothing of this sort happened. No judge was arrested or prevented from going to court. The judges themselves, in the discharge of their judicial duty, upheld the provisions during the emergency. There is this kind of attempt on the judges was not there.
Do you feel any more enlightened compared to the 5 minutes period back when we started talking about the lawyers' movement? What was it about? Now that you have heard the Chief Justice saying certain things about restoration of the judiciary, what was the movement about? Dev Priya. Any idea? Okay, I have written something. I wish it could have been printed and circulated among the participants, but it could not be printed because of certain reasons. Anyway, as Nasreen pointed out, that she's impressed by the fact that she carries this impression that because of this movement, the protest movement, a government was dislodged, and the government, obviously, in her view, was discredited and not democratic. And this is partially true, at least. I can't say I don't agree, and there is evidence that it was not entirely the role of the lawyers' movement which brought down the government. And we have with us Karamat Ali as well. I'm sure that he will he will express his views on what he thinks was the reason. I think that the movement which was there